What is going on, guys? Sean Don coming back with a little glitchy logo animation. Here we have week 5 of my 2020 preparations. This is my first real training cycle. That's right, Program 0 is over. I'm on to Program 1. I'm back in Chula Vista. I'm settled in. I have a nice routine going and ready to get into more typical training. So this first program is just a lot of drills to kind of reinforce some technical changes that I'm trying to make. As you guys can see, it's kind of a shotgun approach. I've done a video on this stuff before. I will link it up in the right hand corner. It's called I think hammer drill series or drill series for learning hammer technique, footwork, something like that. Either way, it's going to be linked up in the right hand corner and down below in the description. So you guys have seen most of this stuff before. Once again, this is even sort of repetitive of some of the stuff I did in Program 0 during the first 4 weeks of my preparations for this training cycle. As you guys saw, the stick drills, pretty standard stuff there, focusing on posture, and these PUD drills are a very important part. I consider this kind of like my hammer conditioning work, if you will. Hammer specific conditioning work, when doing these repetitive stop and start PUD drills really works your core. And at least the way I do them is I'd take probably no more than 30 to 45 seconds rest in between sets. If I'm training with young Shanahan, then it's normally just partner rest. So he goes, I go, he goes, I go, he goes, I go until we're done. It takes about 15 minutes, and we probably get in a couple good 100 turns, both left-handed and right-handed, for once again kind of core conditioning, kind of unwind ourselves, or whatever you want to call it. Just train both sides of the body, general prep. My back pain that I was having earlier in these videos has gone away since I've started doing this stuff, which is, could be coincidence, but I've also been getting some treatment. But I like to think that these left-handed drills have something to do with it. It just challenges the core in a different way. You get some eccentric work when you normally would not in the typical throwing motion. So yeah, as you guys can see, it's normally just 1 turns, 2 turns, 3 turns, 4 turns, left-handed, right-handed. This year I decided to do the left-handed stuff first, just to really challenge the body and wake my brain up, wake that nervous system up in just a little bit of a different way. So far so good. It's actually weird because now my left-handed turns actually feel decent. And then usually when I go to the right-handed turns, they're not as good. I don't know. I'm going to keep playing around with that. This new cycle, like I said, Program 1 is only going to be 3 weeks as opposed to the first program I did, Program 0. I need to stop saying the first program, but Program 0 was 4 weeks. That's probably going to be the only 4-week cycle I will do all year long. I find my body responds better to 3 weeks. The first week, it's kind of an adjustment period. I get nice and sore and fatigued. The second week, I just feel sore and fatigued for essentially the whole week, but my distances and strength levels start to pick up a little bit. In the third week, things start to feel better. My body starts to really recover and adapt, and that's when things start to feel much better. So I find that 4th week is just kind of, what would the term be? Superfluous? I don't know. If I get a good training response out of 3 weeks and I don't get much out of that 4th week, why would I do a 4th week? That's kind of my take on the whole thing. Yeah, so once again, shotgun approach with all of these drills, different feelings, mostly working on posture, turning the left side and right side of the body together with the implement, trying to feel the ground, work with the implement, like I said. This drill is the funkiest of them all, and as you guys can see, it kind of gives me some trouble, but since then it's become much better. And I'm only showing these drills on the first day because, once again, it's almost 7 minutes of the video, 8 minutes of the video. I'm not going to show that every day, but just let it be known that I'm doing this drill circuit every day as part of my warm-up. Like I said, these stick drills and PUD drills take about 15-20 minutes, and then the following hammer drills take about another 15-20 minutes, so I get a solid 30 to 45 minutes of hammer-specific warm-up drill stuff before I get into my full throws. And Here are the walkarounds. As you guys saw, I was doing these last program. I think I'm going to continue to do these more throughout the year. I find they really help with just everything that I'm trying to work on, which is, once again, good posture, getting that right hip underneath me on each catch, and then feeling the ball stretch, feeling the ball pulse forwards, feeling my abs work forwards towards 180, stepping towards 180, all those things. Once again, just feeling the direction of the throw. Not necessarily for everyone, but I like them, and I think they help me feel what I want to feel in the throw, like I said. Give it a shot, and maybe you guys will like it, maybe you won't, I don't know, but keep experimenting, and eventually you will find the thing that makes your throw better. Right now, this is the thing that makes my throw better. So yeah, both hands, left hand, right hand, whatever, more of the same. As you guys can see, I did move up to the 14-pound hammer as opposed to the 6K hammer, so that's a 0.36 kilogram difference, 0.8 pound difference. And on day one, honestly, it felt pretty substantial. Like, I'm a little bit stronger than I was this time last year. Actually, a lot stronger than I was this time last year. And the 6K actually felt pretty light. Like, I actually felt like a light ball. Whereas I go to pick up this 14-pound hammer, despite it being only 0.8 pounds heavier, it feels so drastically heavier. And you guys will see that later in the video, especially as I get into full throws. So walkarounds are over, and then once again, progressive turn series. I really like this one, that stop and start. Teaches you balance, teaches patience, and once again, just an all-around good hammer awareness drill. You gotta let the ball take you all the way around, and then you gotta be balanced enough on that catch to stop it, and then you have to go slow enough to control those winds to slow it down and go nice and easy and complete each rep of turns. That's probably one of my favorites as well. And then one of my favorites from last year, good old wraparound drills. Once again, good for just teaching patience, working both sides of the body together with the hammer, working on posture like always. Nice and easy, going slow. Normal left hand, right hand, trying to work that right hip towards that ball as the ball goes left, as it goes towards the sector. Not the cleanest stuff on this first day, but overall, not too shabby. I'll have to do a comparison at the end of this program so you guys can see how I improve and what changes. Right hand stuff's looking a little bit better, a little bit more stable, a little bit, but a tad pulley with the left side, but not too shabby. And then finishing up with one more normal set of wraparounds, trying to get deep into the legs, trying to keep that posture good, trying to turn and feel the ground in every turn. Not terrible, but once again, not great. As you can see, the low point shifts a little bit. And then, yeah, so more 5-turn work this program, less than I did last program. Mostly all of my throws last program were 5 turns unless I dumped them early. And now I'm starting to work in more 4-turn stuff. So as you guys can see, there's 6 5 turns every day, and then typically 8 4 turns. So I'm doing just about 50-50 volume, a little bit more 4 turns. The 5-turn stuff is really feeling pretty nice. I like entering nice and easy and then catching that first turn and letting the ball kind of take me in, and then working 3 4 5 a little bit more. It's just a very comfortable kind of technical learning drill, technical learning exercise for me, if you will. Yeah, I'm still trying to keep my hands up in the entry. Like I said, this 14 just feels a little bit heavy, so if you guys can notice, as we get into the later 4 turns, you can see the ball and my hands start to drop a little bit more on that right side in the entry, and that's when things start to fall apart a little bit more. So yeah, trying to still work on that hands up cue. As you can see, these 4 turns are not the best. I mean, like, my body positions are okay, but the orbit, like I said, isn't that great. My left side's a little bit antsy. Like I said, that ball's a little bit low on the right side in the entry near 270, and just don't quite have that patience after the first turn. My hips aren't really underneath me either. But once again, it's that first week. I'm not trying to throw too hard. I'm just trying to groove in the good stuff. Usually the first week, I mean, I don't know how fast it looks like I'm going, but I'm usually not trying to go too hard. I don't think I threw over like 70 meters this first day with the 14. And normally what I do is just put a cone out there and try to hit it at like a nice, easy, very easy distance, usually like 10 to 12 meters under my PR with that ball. So like I said, I was kind of aiming for 66, 67, 68 that first day. And then a little bit variation in my lifting warm-up plyometric stuff. As you guys saw, some sprints and some bounds, working on a little bit more power plyometric stuff as I have conditioned my body over the past few weeks. I can start to handle that stuff without getting ridiculously sore or tight. And the fun stuff this week, this week and next week, I get to do some 3-rep max testing in the weight room. So muscle snatch, as you guys can see, I'm warming up. Kind of mismanaged my warm-ups here. I don't know what I was thinking. I should have just been doing singles all the way up to that 3-rep max of, as you guys can see right here, 85K. That's about all I had from a low hang, not from the ground. That's just kind of what I prefer to do. And not the cleanest stuff, but that's once again kind of what you get when you're doing rep maxes. So 85K, 3-rep max, muscle snatch for like my first 5 weeks ever doing that exercise. I don't think it's too shabby when my full snatch PR is like 120K, 125K. Power snatch, I should say. And then, yeah, front squat here, as you guys can see, I always say I'm not the strongest squatter. 140K for 308 pounds, 3-rep max, probably like RPE 9-ish, 8.5. I could have done a little bit more, maybe 145, but that would have been pushing it. It's beltless though, so, you know, I could have got a little bit more. And then, yeah, back down to my working sets of 85%. And 2 sets of 4. The first set was pretty solid, but this second set, man, I got a little overzealous. I had 8 reps left to hit after that set of 140. And I was like, oh, I'll just go 2 sets of 4. And the first set, like I said, was okay. But this second set, as you guys are about to see right here, oof, that was RPE 11, if there were ever such a thing. That was definitely, I would not have gotten another rep, so that was definitely RPE 10. Definitely a little bit too hard. And Pendlay row, 150K 4x3. Feeling pretty strong, back's feeling pretty strong. Pulling's feeling pretty strong, which is great for the hammer because, you know, it's all about pulling the hammer, right, guys? Yeah. That's a joke. I hope you guys understand that. And then core stuff, decreasing reps a little bit, but increasing sets. 4 sets of all this stuff, increasing weight a little bit as well. Finally got a kettlebell to do proper kettlebell swings. Gets them glutes burning. So then week 2, once again, back to the same throwing. Like I said, I repeated that same drill series before this throwing. And yeah, if the footage looks a little funny, that's because I accidentally recorded in 30 frames per second instead of 24 frames per second. So, sorry for that, if you guys can even tell. I don't know. I notice it, and it kind of bothers me. But either way, day 2, I wasn't feeling terrible after that weight room testing. I was definitely a little bit fatigued, as you guys can see. That left side's pulling away a little bit as the ball goes left in each turn. And having a little fun out there, you know, dancing. Dance like nobody's watching, even when people are watching, because life's too short, right? Am I right, guys? I don't know. Yeah, not really a big fan of these throws today. Once again, taking it super easy, just trying to, you know, I'm aiming to hit a cone out there at probably, I think it was like 65, 67 meters or something like that. Taking it super easy, just trying to relax. And as you can see, things just aren't really clicking too well. But everyone has those days, and if they say they don't, then they're lying, or they could not be. I really don't know, but I have days like this, and I'm sure you guys do too. Not every day is going to be great, so make the best out of every day. Yeah. As you guys can see, like I said, struggling. And day 2 lifting, conditioning. You guys have seen this before in like literally the past 4 videos. It's the same ab circuit, same mobility circuit with the med ball, same single leg jump series, extensive rebounds, and then the same tempo circuits, farmer carries, push-ups, sit-ups, bike, inverted row, Russian twist. Nothing crazy. Volume increase though. Instead of doing 2 sets of 6, I'm doing 3 sets of 6. So yeah, upped volume on that. Definitely feeling in better shape. Generally, like, I don't know, I'm feeling like an athlete. It's weird to say, especially those sprints and jumps on day 1. I was feeling pretty springy, which is rare for me, but I guess that's what happens when you train hard, and I've been dieting as well, so I've been losing some weight. So my relative power is getting better. Yeah. Day 3. This is new. I've gone up to 5 days a week throwing instead of just 3 or 4 the last cycle. Like I said, I'm going to stick with 5 days a week for pretty much the entire season. Instead of doing 4 days a week for the preseason, off season, whatever you want to call it, and then switching to 5 come January, February, I'm just going to start with 5 because I found that I did that last year, and I found the transition from 4 days to 5 days just really made me resent doing that 5th day for a while. So now that I can just get in the habit of doing 5 days from the start, I will be much less frustrated and perhaps less burnout. I don't know, we'll see. But generally 5 days a week, a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday schedule is what I've done for almost my entire career. And like I said, if I start with less than that and then can work up to that, it seems like a good idea, but like I said, it just does not work well for me. So I just got to get used to doing that and training on Saturdays. I really like it, having Saturdays free to go hang out with my friends and do real life stuff. But like I said, I'd rather get used to it now rather than struggle with it later on. So yeah, like I said, those max outs on day 1 definitely had me a little toasted come day 3. Once again, it's my 3rd day throwing, so I'm not used to this. This is my first time doing it all season long, even though it's only been 4 or 5 weeks or whatever. But usually that 3rd day of throwing is not the best for me. Things looked like they were okay, but yeah, same thing. Balls dropping a little bit on that right side, and then off to lifting. Once again, a little bit different plyometrics, some hurdle hops. I felt like absolute trash by lifting on Wednesday. Like those hurdle hops, straight jello legs, no pop. But luckily this was a 65% lift, so things were a little bit easier. That Z press was pretty tolerable. Same thing for these split squats. Nothing crazy, I've done much more than this, but it's just a nice 65% workout. It's kind of I guess I wouldn't call it a recovery workout, but I'm not trying to tax the body after I just maxed out on Monday, and as I continue to lose weight, pull-ups 3x6, feeling crispy. Like I might be able to do maybe even 8 or 10 straight. I don't know. And then once again, day 3, just like last week, finishing up with some shoulder stuff and some back stuff. Nothing crazy. Day 4, Thursday. No video on this one, unfortunately, because once again, you guys have seen all this stuff before. It's another conditioning day. Abs, med ball mobility circuit, single leg jump series, extensive rebound circuit, tempo circuit, sled drag, push-ups, in and outs, and tempo circuit 2, row, band pull aparts, hanging leg raise. This day, I think, was probably the closest thing to killing me that I've done since climbing that mountain in New Hampshire with Cullen. Everything was good up until that second tempo circuit. With this diet I'm on, I'm eating pretty low carbs, like technically only 35 to 40 grams of carbs a day, and I'm not even doing the keto thing, which sucks. But by the time I got to the rows, I was just beat. And 3 sets of 6, rowing 250 meters. I rode 3 miles over the course of that workout, which I guess only took me 21 minutes in total, but I just had no energy by the end of it. I was quite fatigued. But hopefully this next upcoming week it'll get a little bit better as I get in better shape. That's kind of the purpose of training, right? So this is Friday, day 5. No throwing yesterday, obviously, if you guys could not tell. And things are starting to feel a little bit better, a little bit. Despite how hard yesterday's workout was, I still felt recovered because it is just essentially blood flow. It's conditioning. It's not really taxing the nervous system too much. I'm not really, burning the midnight oil, if you will. Technique during this stuff is, still, once again, ball's kind of dropping on the right side a little bit. I got to keep my hands up more. It's hard. It's hard with this extra, like I said, this extra pound is really getting to me. I think distances started to pick up here a little bit, same effort, but ooh, that's a good one right there. That's for all the children out there who think I don't make any mistakes. Really close on a lot of this stuff. this first week of throwing wasn't spectacular until tomorrow. You guys will get to see once again more sprints. A little bit sore here, but still moving. Just 10-meter sprints. It's literally like 6 steps and then more double leg bounce. For the first time ever in my life, I think this stuff has caused me to get shin splints, which is unpleasant. I don't recommend anybody get shin splints. I don't think anybody would do it voluntarily, but first time ever I've had that problem, and yeah, like I said, it's uncomfortable. But day 5, look at young Shanahan. He was dancing. Now he's scared. He got shy. So yeah, after 3-hour max testing on Monday, a nice easy workout Wednesday, and then here we are on Friday, dancing again. Once again, dance like nobody's watching, even when people are watching. And snatch grip deadlift 3-rep max, 200K by 3. This is the first time I've done any sort of heavy deadlifting since like my sophomore year of college. I used to do this stuff all the time back in high school when I did strongman and powerlifting, and I used to love it. Deadlifting was my thing, and this is the first time I've deadlifted heavy in, like I said, a really long time, and it was sort of unpleasant. I'm not used to straining that hard. It felt very slow and uncomfortable, and I could definitely feel my back working much more than I'm used to, but maybe that's a good thing. Either way, 200K for 3 is a pretty solid number. I don't know if I'll test later again in the year, but it gives me some solid numbers. Look at Brian just getting in the way, but it gives me some solid numbers to make my training just a little bit more accurate in the weight room. And then once again, pushing accessory stuff a little bit more, pushing the intensity, pushing the weight. Volume per set has decreased, but volume of sets has increased. 5 sets of this accessory stuff, but it's feeling pretty good. Come Saturday, I was pretty freaking sore from the deadlifts and then from that those landmine twists. Really fried my back. But on Saturday, I actually had a fun day, a really solid training session. My body started to finally adapt, but mainly what it was is I got up at the ass crack of dawn, 6 o'clock a.m. I was out training by 7:30 because there was a lacrosse camp here at the training center, and they wanted me to do a speaking engagement for these youth lacrosse players, like 12 to 16-year-old kids. They wanted to come out and see what my training was like, and then I ran them through a little bit of a workout. So they were here pretty much as soon as I started throwing, and were kind of cheering me on, and I was interacting with them. So thanks to social anxiety, I typically throw farther when people are around me, because I do get a little bit of that fight or flight response. I don't know, it's kind of like that, once you put a camera on me, I'm probably gonna throw a little bit farther, jump a little bit higher, lift a little bit more weight. I don't know, it's weird how my body works like that, but I guess it's kind of good come competition time when there are plenty of people around, and I just throw a little bit farther, which is good. But this session ended up being a little bit more high intensity than I wanted, because they were cheering me on and stuff, and like I said, you guys can't hear the audio, but they were like starting slow claps and stuff, and it was a fun time. It was a fun time getting to share the hammer with people who really had no idea what it was. They have no idea who I am, no idea what the sport is, and to get to share it with those kids was cool. And then also getting to pass on some life lessons, I guess, teaching kids the value of hard work, the value of, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I got to talk to them and teach them some things, and hopefully, plant some seeds in their brain for the future. As you guys can see, these last 3 or 4 turns are pretty high intensity. That was a really nice throw there. That was good. That was a fall best for me. So it was cool getting to hang out with those guys, and like I said, share my passions with them. And yeah, but afterwards I was absolutely pooped. My introverted nature, I was absolutely wiped. My social battery was wiped after that workout. Luckily, I had time to take a nap and come back for lifting later in the day. And that's right, I'm lifting on day 6. This is my 6th day of lifting in the week. Technically only my 4th day of real lifting. I've been supposed to be doing 6 days of lifting pretty much this entire season. But with life, I pretty much never got around to doing that 6th day because I was always traveling and having fun with my friends. So this is all stuff that I should have been doing, but I did not. And now here I am finally doing it now that I'm back in my routine at the training center. And I just want to take a minute and say, look at your boy, looking like an athlete, looking lean, mean, hammer throwing machine. Like I said, diet's been paying off, training's been paying off. And yeah, I don't know, it's cool to actually look like an athlete. I'm trying to redefine the thrower stereotype. Not everybody is fat and lazy and eats a lot. You know, at the top level, you gotta do what you gotta do to optimize every aspect of your life, and that's why I'm kind of doing this diet thing. But yeah, pretty solid, pretty easy Saturday lift. Like I said, single leg jumps, med ball extensive rebounds, back squat, glute ham raise, and ab roll out. Everything felt pretty solid. Core's feeling really strong, legs feeling pretty strong, and my back squatting. First time back squatting since probably like before USA's, and it felt pretty good, so that's cool. I'm excited to see how the next 2 weeks of this program go. I got more 1 rep max testing or 3 rep max testing next week, so stay tuned. Make sure you guys subscribe and share this video if you found it entertaining or educational, or if you learned something, go share it with somebody. I would appreciate it. So thank you guys for watching. Sean Don, peace and out until next week.